Hi, Kylie here. My critical incident was I had a staff member with whom I'd had an argument, during which I told him to do as he was told because I was the boss. When I'm challenged in my role, I bully, I'm controlling, I'm overbearing, and I demand that others do as I say. The team helped me influence my real-time behaviour by suggestions I would not have thought of, such as Nishank asking whether I perhaps seem offensive in my manner, Nathan mentioning his everyday interactions with his staff to maintain relationships, Hazret's idea of coaching after an incident, Anas asking about whether I had a backup circuit breaker and should my first not work. All of these ideas I incorporated into my second incident. My observations from theory were I felt the dynamic of the group was very task oriented, which makes sense. We're all studying, we're working around work and families. So it was on topic and outcome oriented. I saw much of the behaviours of successful teaming from the article Teamwork on the Fly by Amy Evanson for the HBR being speaking up via feedback on default routines and videos, experimenting being our attempt at disrupting our default routines, reflecting, this idea came up early in the piece, and then again, of course, as part of our own reflection exercise. Integrating, because we integrated the new ideas into our incidents. Relationships extended to linking up on LinkedIn, which is great. We can see how each other evolves over time in their careers. Nathan was keen to catch up early on, displaying his interpersonal leadership and relationship building quantities. I have since realised how important they really are, and I've implemented something at work along those lines as well. Other group members' perspectives from Nathan on group dynamics was our structure of the group was mutual, reciprocal independence. We all depended on each other, particularly towards due dates. But of these relationships, we only really acquired one tie. I had a reasonable amount of interaction with Kylie early on. This enabled me to develop this time more than the others. As per our interactionism formula, our behaviour limited effectiveness. We were able to coordinate and interact, but got by with no set roles and proper planning around agreed timelines. We were a product of our limited environment, but there was discussion and interaction as a response to our personal qualities. Especially around assessment times, there was genuine feeling that we wished each other well and hoped for the best for the group. Hazret went on to say we had an informal cooperative learning group, only communicating via a social platform. We had a lot of peer instruction and collaborative learning via this social platform, which avoided problems in group work such as dominance by a single student or conflict avoidance. It was really easy to assign tasks to group members. We took two successful approaches: positive independence and individual accountability. And as noted, there wasn't any distinct or pre-planned roles in the group. Nathan was widely acknowledged as the leader of the group, even though it was non-verbatim, due to his adeptness at establishing interpersonal relationships. Owing to everyone's busy schedules, interactions were limited to the task at hand. Everyone was forthright in their interactions, but also displayed a level of reservedness. Thank you.
My critical incident was where, as a mobile trainer, I had recently relocated to another company's store to conduct training programs with management and staff members. I asked a team member to relocate to another section of the restaurant during a busy lunch rush due to another employee having to go on break. The employee resisted to change the section they were working on, showing reluctance to assist the team. After multiple requests for assistance, the staff member came and assisted us. Yet her actions intimidated me and caught me off guard, where she continued to show resistance, did not communicate with the team, and rather stressed us out due to her body language, posture, and high voice. My default routine is as follows. In the due course of not being able to encourage a team member to participate in teamwork, I feel frustrated and aggravated from an apparent lack of willingness towards collective performance and accomplishments. For this reason, I tend to leave the scene in order to calm myself down to exhibit a degree of positive thought. In relation to the feedback that I received from my group, my team suggested me to pull the employee out of the current environment to try and calm them down and to remind them that I am trying to help. That I should specify the body sensations that tell me it's time to enact my circuit breaker. My group also supported my mini experiment plan, stating that it is a useful plan to encourage a powerful unit of collective performance. Feedback given by the team was very helpful and indeed made me question my interpersonal skills and affection towards conflict. Nathan suggested I have a close look at my Jung type to shed some light in my preference in dealing with people. Kylie reminded me that I'm willing to discuss when agitated, may put people off voicing their real concerns and suggesting I could use an approach after the circuit breaker, whilst not reacting to their emotions. Anas also gave similar feedback, suggesting me to improve or add to my circuit breakers, giving me an insight into how I can deal with conflict better. Nisang's feedback was also helpful, contributing to adding to my mini experiment plan. From a group perspective, we think that our group effectively took part in instigating discussion, especially around timelines, but generally the group has worked without a designated leader and without designated roles. And in this, we feel that the group has been effective in doing what was required. We had not chosen a leader, but Nathan and Kylie were generally really good in exercising their interpersonal skills to keep the team on track. Nathan especially did not resist to put in the time and exercise his leadership skills and encouraging the team to do well. I think others, basically all of us, we did really well in acknowledging good work and also encouraging everyone to do very well. Most group members initiated discussions and we all input thoughts and ideas as to how to complete tasks, and I feel we all contributed to outcomes and the manner in which we achieved them.
Hi, this is Nishan. My critical incident was with Mr. Arjun, who was a fabrication contractor at my previous workplace. My role was to plan, manage, and schedule all the construction activities such that the project is completed on time. The constant delays in fabrication works were severely affecting me as I was not able to concentrate properly due to the extra work pressure on me. So regarding this, I went to Arjun and asked him to provide me a detailed timeline of his works such that I can replan and reschedule the project to finish it on time. His response was intimidating and he behaved rudely with me, for which I felt my position was defended and I reacted aggressively, which resulted in an argument between us where I had to force him for results. I gave him an opportunity to speak, but his response was not satisfactory, so I left the room without influencing him in order to avoid a conflict. So my default routine is like when I feel my workload will increase due to others' non-contribution, I become frustrated and angry and I try to force them. So upon taking a feedback on this, I felt the main takeaways were from Kyle, as she suggested to change my circuit breaker of folding my hands to clasping my hands like this, as my folding hands would look more defensive for the opponent, which I felt was really helpful in my real-time influencing. And also Kyle and Hasret have suggested me to elaborate on my breathing patterns, which I have said like this, like whenever I feel like a conflict like situation arises, I try to inhale and exhale at a constant speed and count numbers every time I exhale, which was a really good practice for changing my frustration and anger, like controlling my frustration and anger. And also Anas and Kyle have helped me in reframing my default routine statement, which is more clear and easy to understand. And also Hasret has given me a very good suggestion of implementing my mini experiment plan, where she suggested me to allow my opponent to come up with options for which I can get more options and we can discuss in a similar like situation to avoid conflicts. So also commenting on how the influencing behaviors in our group were, like I felt there was not a lot of influencing from one particular individual, as we all worked as a team together and all the group interactions were very friendly and respectful. Nathan and Kyle have been actively influencing the group by keeping us aware of the oncoming topics and have always facilitated the group by proposing solutions to issues while we were working on assignments. Also, Nathan took an initiative in forming a collective report on emotional intelligence topic as a part of our group assignment in this unit, where everyone's viewpoints were incorporated. And also Kyle has initiated the group of Phoenix and Blackboard, and I have personally created a WhatsApp group which was the main platform in sharing all the essential information and feedback, thus supporting each other in this unit. And also at the same time, Hasret and Anas have been influencing together by doing the tasks on time, which by giving us feedback and sending all our works on time. So in this way we all helped us together influencing each other and to form a perfect report. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, my name is Anas, and my critical incident was when I noticed a new team member struggling at using the pizza dough machine at the pizza shop I work at. I, being an experienced team member, guided him the correct way to do it. I felt distressed because the team member never followed the way I showed him, which led me to my default routine that when I saw the team member was intentionally not following the way I showed him, I walked away with a frown face, displaying rudeness and attitude while ending the conversation immediately. The feedback to my default routine from my team really helped me in thinking about the other side of this issue and its possibilities. Questions from Nathan helped me think about alternative approaches to my default routine, and the suggestions he stated triggered solutions to help me delay my default routine. Kylie's feedback made me feel at ease by assuring that I'm not the only one who faces this problem. She suggested multiple solutions of maintaining healthy relationships at workplace. Also, she helped me by suggesting a backup circuit breaker in case mine doesn't work. In terms of the feedback received and delivered, we utilized two methods of communication as a medium of providing as well as receiving, which were WhatsApp and email. While the email form was kept as a formal way of communication when feedbacks of the video blogs and any questions pertaining to them were phrased, it also acted as a sort of recording and keeping measure wherein the conversation with an individual of the group were clustered but in an unclustered manner, so as to track the progress made with and by each individual of the group. Whereas WhatsApp served the purpose as a non-formal medium of communication wherein pointers were given to each other and also clarifications, if needed to be, were done to smoothen things out. Also, as an informal medium, WhatsApp was also used for quick remarks and immediate answers. WhatsApp as an informal form helped us get over initial inhibitions and helped us in discussing situations each of us were uncomfortable with. Not only were Nathan and Kylie particularly meticulous in their feedback through email, questioning me about the situation at review and suggesting various circuit breakers ranging from my approach to breathing exercises, they were also particularly helpful in answering any queries, offering pointers and clearing up any doubts that I had via WhatsApp. Both forms of conversation helped the team work and being confronted with. An open dialogue was kept between the group members to quickly and effectively accomplish the task at hand. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nathan Bishop. My critical incident was with a meeting of a peer organisation with the CEO. It was about a few other things, but at the end it was brought up of an issue that occurred prior to this about some stock that we felt we did not receive, but they felt that they delivered. So essentially it was at the fault of the transport company, but the CEO told me in uncertain terms that he expected full payment as he believed the stock was delivered. Now this kicked in my default routine, which is when I was unable to convince the CEO of my position and potential conflict was imminent, I was intimidated and not confident enough to assert my position. I sought to find an end to the conversation to avoid further conflict. Now, feedback I got from everyone was all pretty good, but the two that really stand out to me was Anas and Kylie. Now, unfortunately for me, Anas's feedback, he asked a lot of questions which I didn't really get back to clarify with him, so I missed out a bit there. But there was a few things that he did say that made me think about my approach to make sure I wasn't appearing too docile or too weak. Kylie's feedback was great. We had a fair bit of time to converse about our default routines and our behaviours. Her default routine, her situation was very similar to mine. And her understanding of mindfulness techniques and breathing circuit breakers really helped me better understand the thought processes that was going on at the same time. She also suggested that I need to explore the causes of my anxiety, investigate ways to handle it in my daily life. Now, going back to theory, the things that resonate to me one was Katzenbach and defining our group. I considered our group more of a working group than a team. We were naturally limited being online by our environment, our remoteness, and our limited contact time. And we weren't taking any risks being objective, which really limited our interpersonal relationships and restricted us from becoming a really fully functional team by definition. As mentioned in virtual teams, we had agreed goals and we all wanted to succeed in our assessments, and we all made an effort to contribute and respond to one another. But our candour was very limited, in particular early on. It developed as we got closer towards the end and the final assessment, and some of our best teamwork came to the forefront. And although I am pretty critical before about our limited candour, during the feedback sessions there was some really great honesty that went on, and there was a genuine desire to help the rest of the group to succeed. So I'd like to thank the rest of my group for pulling together and helping me and each other through this unit and through this assessment. I thoroughly enjoyed this unit and working with a really good working team, and I wish you all the best.